Hey, this is Kevin with Ristretto Apps, and this is our second video on Gravity Member. If you don't already know, Gravity Member again is an integration plugin that integrates Gravity Forms with Wishlist Member, and basically allows you to use Gravity Forms to take payments and registration and automatically send new customers and register them in a particular wishlist level. So last time we covered the basics of installing, configuring Gravity Member with the two, again, Gravity Forms and Wishlist Member. Today we're going to get a little deeper and get into a few more advanced scenarios. Here we have our Gravity Form checkout process, basically checkout form, which allows a customer to go through, create a user through the user registration add-on of Gravity Forms. They check out using PayPal, and they're automatically enrolled in Wishlist Member using Gravity Member. So that's great. It's wonderful for those users who don't currently have an account with you and are brand new to your membership site. However, what about in a situation where you want to take and give the option to a current existing member or user of your site and allow them the ability to either add another level to their account or to move up and upgrade their account from one level to the next one. And so we're going to go through how to best set that up. It will require a couple things that we're going to need to do with Gravity Forms, or with the Gravity Form that we've created, to make it as smooth as possible. But the good news is that Gravity Member supports this as well. So let's get into it. Right now, again, we just have our basic standard form, which is great for users that people that don't have a user account with your membership website. So let's log in. Okay, so I've logged in as the administrator now, and I want to go to our form. So we'll just go to Forms and Form here. This is again the Gravity Forms interface, and let's take a look at this form again. We can see that it's great for allowing users to sign up and create a user account. It takes their allows them to choose a username, a password, fills out profile information such as name and email. And again, not all of this is required for creating a user account, but I put a lot of it in there. However, this is not a great form the way it's set up for a member of your site who already has an account to be able to purchase a new level, or add a new level, or upgrade. You could create a separate form for that. So that's one possibility, is just to create a members only form on your website that is available only to members, and allow them to basically upgrade from within your membership site. So that's probably the simplest way to go, and it's one that I'd recommend if you don't mind and it's just straightforward. It's a great way to go. Basically, it would be the same form as this, minus all these kind of user registration kind of stuff, and it would just include this membership level and total, and then an enroll button. And if you hook that up to Gravity Member, that would be a fine way to go. However, there are cases where maybe you are doing an email to some of your audience, and you say, hey, take advantage of this special offer, upgrade your account right now for 20% off, 50% off, etc. And they click that, and they don't happen to be logged in, and now you're basically asking them to first log in and then have to go find that link again from the email, and what page was it on that I'm supposed to register, or they may get confused and try to go to your main sign up page for a level, and then they'll try to fill this out again. They're either going to create a new account because it's going to tell them, okay, well, that username's taken or that email address is taken, or they just may get stuck and not go through. So that that might be negative for you, for your business. So we're just going to do one little scenario here that will give you the option to use this form for both new non-registered users and also registered users who already have an account with you. And so the way we're going to do that first is we're going to have an option to hide these fields, these user registration fields, when the user is already logged in. So let's do that, and it's pretty simple. This is something that you can find online, but I'll just show you how to do that. The easiest way I found is to create a hidden field, I put this here, and then I just drag it to the top. And I'm going to call this logged in. It's the name of the field. This title is just for my reference, logged in. And they're not going to be able to see this. Your user base won't be able to see this. And in here, we're going to do an auto field population, which basically means that if the user is logged in, it's going to automatically grab their username and put it in this field here. The easiest way to do that actually is to go to default value and just put user login right here. Now, actually, we probably don't even need this part, because what will happen is if this is set to user login, this will automatically this field will automatically be populated. So if the user is logged in, there will be a name here, and if they're not, they'll be blank. Now, again, you won't be able to see this, but the system will. So that's how it works. So let's say the user is logged in. We want to hide this because we don't want them to recreate their username. So what we're going to do is going to go enable conditional logic and then go down to logged in, and we're going to leave this blank. If the field logged in, which detects itself automatically and fills itself in automatically, is blank, it must mean that that there's nothing to put in here, and thus the user is not logged in, and they need to be able to fill out a brand new username. So that's kind of the theory behind this. Do the same for password. And we'll do the same for name, because we should have all this information already if they're already a member with our site. And email. Great. So basically we're preventing them from getting stuck in our system and not being able to move through with this form. And even though these are required, because it's not going to actually show up to the user, these requirement rules won't be affected, or won't be forced to the user. So let's update this form. And now let's take a look and see what happens. If we go to our site, I am logged in, so we'll be able to see if this is working or not. And fair enough, this works great. The only fields that we see are membership level and total. And again, we can change those. And if we were to submit this, we would be able to register automatically and add a level or upgrade to a level. So that's great. However, there's one more thing that I like to add. This is an optional aspect, and that is I want to be able to have someone who's coming to my site, if they're a user but they just happen to not be logged in, I want to give them that ability to log in first if they want to. Maybe they're getting a special discount because they're already a member, and I really also don't want them to create 2 accounts. That's going to cause confusion for them, for me to administer it. And so I want to give those users who are already my users, I want to give them the option to be able to log in before they check out when they're upgrading or adding a new level. So the way we're going to handle that is by going to the page itself. And here I'll just actually do this. And we have our form here, our shortcode for our form. And what we've developed at Gravity Member is kind of a tweak to the standard WordPress login form that I think works a little smoother in this particular case. And the way to call it is simply GM for Gravity Member and then login form. Now, if I were to just take out the GM underscore, it would just be login form. This would be the standard shortcode to incorporate a standard WordPress login meta widget kind of box anywhere on your page, on any page, so you can do that anywhere. But by adding this GM, it's going to include our tweaks, and I'll show you how those look. So if we go to the page, we'll see that unlike the standard shortcode login box, which would supply a bunch of other metadata, it would basically kind of look like this, which kind of is ugly to me. The only thing it says that's different is you are logged in, which is nice for users when they're not sure. They come to your site, maybe you have this admin black bar disabled on your site and they're not sure if they're already logged in, they're not sure what to do. So it just kind of verifies to them that they're logged in. And then you can basically allow them to go through and register, which is great. But what happens when you're not logged in, or they're not logged in, but they want to log in? So here we are. We've logged out, and we can see that by placing that GM login form shortcode, we now have a nice login box with some simple directions, which basically asks the user to log in first if they do have an account, and if they don't, they just continue and create a new registration and sign up that way. Now, one thing that would be nice is if they did log in, that they weren't redirected to maybe the home page or some other kind of page on your site, that once they log in, they're brought right back to this sales page so that you don't have to worry about them getting confused and you losing that sale or sign up or whatever like that. So let's see what happens when we do log in and where we're taken. As you can see, we're taken to the home page. And that's frustrating because that means that now, does the user even know where to go? Maybe that was a unique page that we set up that wasn't public and it's hard to find. Why is this happening? Well, let's go into the dashboard and we can figure out why. I'll switch to our admin area. And here we are. If you go to dashboard and under Wishlist Member and settings, I want you to look for miscellaneous. And down here, you're going to see a setting that says allow Wishlist Member to handle login redirects. Yes. So as long as this is checked as yes, this means that Wishlist is going to force all login redirects to wherever it is decided. And usually those settings are here on the system pages. And normally that's great, except for the fact that this particular case, you don't want to lose out on a customer who's logging in and then being sent off to who knows where. You want them to be able to go back to that sales page or to that registration form. And so I'd recommend, there's other ways to do logins. Once you've logged in, there's ways to do it within WordPress or custom plugins. I wouldn't use, my recommendation is not to use the Wishlist Member setting to do that. So I'm going to disable that. And we'll see now that if we log out around this form, and then log back in, we're brought right back to this form, and now we can proceed to check out. Now I'm part of the gold member already. Let's see how we set this up. I'm going to go to Forms, then I'm going to go down to Gravity Member, and I see our integration here. And we talked about this feature before in our last video. It's the Upgrade User feature, but let me just quickly explain. Again, this is allowing the difference between your current users to either add an additional membership level to their account or to actually upgrade them from one level to the next. So currently we have it set that I can add an additional level to my membership. So let's go look at that. So let's say that right now I have an account and it's a gold account. I've already paid for a gold membership. And I want to also add the bronze. Now normally you wouldn't name it these, you might name it different types of memberships. Maybe one would be marketing, and one would be email, and one would be how to do cold calling. Different types of courses maybe that you put together, and they can add different ones to their account. So in this case I would want to, I've done the gold, let's actually add the ultimate too. So if I click on register, I've been registered in that, and then we can actually go and check to see if that's happened. So here we are at the users area, register on, click on that, and I can see that yes, last time I signed up for the gold level originally, and just now I also added the ultimate level, so now I'm subscribed to both levels, which I can have. But let's say I want to change this a little bit, and I want to make it so that my members can only upgrade, they can't add multiple levels. So let's start over. We'll remove the gold level for now. And what we want to do is make it so that this member has to remove the gold level from their account and upgrade to the ultimate. That's the only option they have. Or downgrade if they need. So we'll go again into our Gravity Forms area. And let's turn on that setting, the Upgrade User setting. Great. So now, let's go back here. I'm logged in again. So I'm already a gold member. What I should be able to do is click on Ultimate, Register. I see that, yes, I've been added. And let's check my status and see what happened. Okay, so here we are. And now you can see, yes, indeed, it removed the gold level and added the ultimate. So that's just a little overview of that feature, which sometimes may be important for some folks who are running different types of membership websites. So today we've gone over a number of more advanced configuration scenarios and setups for Gravity Member. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to use the plugin. So I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.